We have been following pretty closely how the Trump tariffs are going to be absolutely devastating to the American economy. But up until now, we've done it in a more theoretical way because just not enough time had gone by for us to really start to see the on-the-ground impacts of these insane tariffs. Because Donald Trump has only been in office for 3 months now, folks. I know it feels like 3 or 4 years, but it's only been 3 months. And one of the companies that is being negatively impacted right now is a company called Busy Baby, which is a veteran-owned company. This is somebody who just got the biggest contract of the company's life, but now the success of the company is in question, all because Donald Trump had a weird infatuation with these tariffs. So let's go ahead and listen to the CEO of Busy Baby help us understand this new contract that she just landed, that she doesn't even know if she will be able to fulfill because of these tariffs. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
You achieved a huge milestone, and this is big. Your products would be sold in Target and Walmart. I know that is not an easy feat. What did it mean to secure those deals to your business, and what does the future now look like under these tariffs?
You know, it was huge. It was huge. We've worked for years to get into these retailers. We literally, that picture we just launched in Target last month, it was the biggest thing to take our kids and show them what we achieved. Our kids are part of our business. And now we agreed to contract pricing with both those retailers. We have to provide them the product for the next year at a certain cost. I factored in the potential for that 20 to 30% tariff that we thought was probably coming and was reasonable. I did not factor in 145%. If we have to bring in more products for these retailers, I'm going to lose money on every single one. Every single one. I can't do it. I just can't.
So this is a big deal for a company, right? You're getting into the biggest retailers in our country, and now because Donald Trump implemented these 145% tariffs on China, you don't even know if you're going to be able to fulfill the contract? I mean, just to put it into perspective, guys, if you have $50,000 worth of products sitting in a container over in China, you have to come up with nearly $150,000 in tariffs to just get those out of customs when they get shipped over here. How is a small business supposed to operate like that? And because Donald Trump has been so flippy-floppy and there's all of this uncertainty, now these businesses can't even plan for their future because they don't know what's going to happen from day to day. This is no way to run a business. And as we'll get into in a little bit, this is a person who leveraged her home to get into that Walmart and Target contract. She had to come up with the capital to get those contracts fulfilled, and now Donald Trump is blowing all of that up. It is an absolute shame, and I don't know how this person voted. I don't care if they're a Democrat, Republican, an independent, or a non-voter. These tariffs are non-discriminatory, right? They're going to affect everybody. All walks of life, any side of the aisle. It really doesn't matter. And this is just one story. And you can imagine of thousands of businesses all over the country, they are having these exact same experiences, all because Donald Trump is an absolute lunatic. Here she's talking about how her product is now waiting in China because she doesn't have the money to ship it over here and get it out of customs.
Are you breathing a sigh of relief?
No, not at all. The news yesterday almost feels like the nail in the coffin for us.
Tell me why.
I have products in China right now produced, ready to ship. They were supposed to get on a boat yesterday and come to America. And I can't ship them because what would have cost me maybe $30,000 with a reasonable tariff now is going to cost me almost $200,000. And I have to have that money when the products get to customs, and I don't have that, nothing close to that. It's not even reasonable. So I have to leave my goods in China until I figure out some other direction. But what that means is when I run out of stock in 2 to 3 months, I no longer have products to sell and no more revenue coming in, which means I can't pay my bills, can't pay my employees, and everything I have, all of my debt. I have my house leveraged. We have 5 employees. My house is leveraged against our loans for our growth into Walmart and Target. I can't pay those bills. I don't even want to think about it.
So, I mean, this shouldn't be too hard to understand, right? This is a small company who got their products into Walmart and Target, and they needed the capital to be able to make that expansion happen. And now, because of these tariffs, she can't even ship the products that she needs to stock into those stores because she now cannot afford the tariffs. And like she said, she's already leveraged her home. She's got 5 employees to think about. She doesn't have any more or any other place that she can go run up more debt. What is a person like this supposed to do? And we're talking about a veteran here who got the entrepreneurial spark and started a successful business. And now all of that could be torn down because these tariffs are just, small businesses cannot contend with this type of stuff. They just don't have the access to capital like they need to be able to weather the storm. If you're a big giant business like a big box retailer, maybe you can get debt on the cheap. Maybe you've got a little bit of more reserves that you can tap into. But when you're talking about small businesses, especially making the leap from a small business going into a Walmart or a Target, you're not going to be able to do it with these astronomically high tariffs. And as she mentioned before, she tried to calculate in maybe some reasonable tariffs. Even I don't think 20 or 30% is reasonable, but she tried to calculate that in to the Walmart contract. And now Donald Trump has come in with 145% tariffs because he wants to feel like a big, bad, tough guy who's getting the upper hand on China. He is devastating these people's lives. I mean, she could potentially lose her home because she now can't get the products that she needs to sell to pay off her debt. I mean, it is absolutely insane. And here she goes on to talk about the day-to-day uncertainty that she experiences as a business owner.
Yeah, and it's hard to make a decision. You know, we had an idea yesterday after the announcement of, well, maybe we can export to Australia, repackage the products, and then re-import them from there. But because policy changes every 36 hours or so, I don't want to make that decision and make that move only for something else to change in just a couple more days. I'm paralyzed. I can't even make a decision right now. And I'm not the only one. There's thousands of us, small businesses in this exact same position.
Yeah, she's exactly right. And this is something that we talked about a lot when these tariffs are going on again, off again, on again, off again, pause. All of this uncertainty is no way to run a business, especially when you're talking about on this level. You have to do projections of what your future is going to look like, what your revenues are going to look like. If you can't even know what is going to happen day to day, you can't run a business. It's just not conducive to running a good business or being a good business environment. These tariffs are devastating in more ways than one. And the uncertainty for all of these small businesses is one of the biggest things that they're going to have to contend with. And now, like she said, she feels paralyzed and can't even make these decisions because she doesn't even know what's going to happen tomorrow, which is a terrible place to be in for a business owner. And I want to go on to this next clip where she talks about whether or not moving manufacturing back to the United States is something that would even be feasible. Because this is supposed to be the argument, right? All these tariffs are going to be implemented and all these companies are going to come running back to the United States because they're going to want to produce right here in the good old US of A.
I mean, these overnight tariffs just don't even give us a chance to be a realistic pathway for us. For me, I would have to create, if I even found a factory in the US willing to do it that had the right machinery, it would take 4 to 6 months to get the tools made to even start production. And that alone would cost me over $200,000. I don't have the time or money to do that in this moment. We don't have any time to make any adjustments.
Again, this was a foreseeable thing that we all should have been able to predict, that we were trying to tell people about here. Getting manufacturing rerouted to America and getting all the supply lines set up to make sure that you have all of your input product, I mean, that takes time. And when you're talking about a small to medium-sized business like this one, where you're already leveraged, you already have your personal assets leveraged to get your debt so you could expand into Walmart and into Target, you just don't have the capital to even think about trying to relocate your manufacturing. And the other point I want to put on this is, like we've talked about a lot here, the unemployment rate right now is 4%. If we bring all of these manufacturing jobs back to the United States, we do not have the workers to fill those jobs. It is just not going to happen, especially when you consider that Donald Trump is trying to deport as many brown people as he possibly can. We will definitely not have the workers that can do all of these manufacturing jobs like they are trying to say is going to happen. It's just not going to work that way. It's just not going to work. It's a fantasy land. Every economist out there was saying these things aren't going to work like you said they were going to work. This is going to end badly. And lo and behold, that is exactly what is happening. Here she is talking about whether or not her company can even continue to grow with these tariffs in place. And I'm sure you already know the answer.
Do you believe your company can grow with these tariffs in place, Beth?
Not in the U.S. No, not in the U.S. So that's I can't, you saw our kids. I can't teach my kids failure. I can't teach them that when adversity hits, you fold. So we're going to teach our kids that we adapt, we overcome. We're going to look for international distribution and start selling our products outside the U.S. We have market validation here. They've done really well. People love them. There are babies everywhere. So for me, my next move is probably going to be looking for international distributors to sell our products in Australia, Canada, Europe, other countries where people can enjoy our products.
So just think about what she's saying. Because she can't afford to ship her products to the United States and pay the tariffs on those products, she's now looking at international distributing, Australia, Canada, China, wherever. I mean, that is the exact opposite of what Donald Trump said was going to happen. And this is only one business, guys. This is one small to medium-sized business. How many others do you think are out there that are in this exact same boat? I heard some guy the other day talking about, I think he does alloy wheels, and he's got a container full of wheels waiting to come here, but I don't think he has the capital to be able to pay the duties or tariffs on those products. So now you've got just a container full of products sitting in China. What are you going to do? I mean, the only thing you are forced to do is see if you can open international distribution lines. And so while these tariffs were supposed to bring all these manufacturing job backs, all these workers were going to come back to America, that's not happening. The exact opposite will end up being true for a lot of these companies because they can't afford to get the product back, and now they have to look to see if they can offload their product in countries around the world. So, I mean, this is just one story. We're going to continue to follow these because people's lives are now being devastated by these tariffs, all because Donald Trump wanted to follow through with them. Because what? Because he's been obsessed with them since the 1980s? Tried to get everybody to live in his reality? Tried to say that a deficit was somehow a subsidy? A trade deficit was somehow us subsidizing them? Tried to say that the other country was the one that paid the tariffs? I mean, all of this is built on such a conspiracy, and now real people's lives are getting hurt because Donald Trump is such a damn buffoon. So, I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We're trying to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against the right-wing media ecosystem that just shovels shit for Donald Trump every single day. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to subscribe. And if you guys want to see how the Trump administration is still trying to cover their tracks, make up lies about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, please watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.